How's everybody doing tonight? Monday morning quarterback, episode 51. Had somebody ask me over the weekend, why do we call it Monday morning quarterback and we do it at 9 o'clock at night? We started in the morning, as many of you remember. We would do this like at 11 a.m. on Mondays, and this 9 o'clock time slot just seemed to be better for most people. So if that ever changes and you guys want to see us at a different time, we are willing to do that for you. But so far this has been a good time slot. So hope you guys all had a good start to your week. We were at the Muddy DeCoin race on Saturday. We love going there though. Shamrock Classic, another good event. Just got done pressure washing off the carpets out of the trailer and trying to get it clean as we're heading to Port City Raceway. Fingers crossed that the weather cooperates. We're heading there for the Now 600 race on Wednesday, and then going to go from there to Austin, Texas for round 2 of the National Quarter Midget Series. So trying to get out and see all you guys as much as we can here at the start of the year. And so yeah, got some stuff rolling. We're busy here at the shop, and excuse me, I hope I'm not getting sick. I've been trying to avoid it as much as I can. Everybody at my house has been sick, and I've been doing a decent job of fighting it off. So tonight we are going to talk about the importance of a solid baseline setup. And I talked about this topic a little bit in our quarter midget chassis seminar, Keys to a Championship program that we did a couple Saturdays ago. And I think this is a very important but often overlooked topic. I think if you polled crew chiefs in the major racing series, most of them would tell you if you unload and have to make wholesale changes after the first practice or hot lap session, you're probably in for a long day or long night. Your chances of being successful diminish rapidly if you don't start off on the right foot. And I think a good portion of that goes back to your notes and having a good solid foundation and a good solid notebook. And sometimes that's built up over years of experience, and some of you don't have that. But I think you can get where you need to be rather quickly if you're organized and you do a very good job taking notes, because we're going to learn as much making a poor setup decision as we do making a good one, as long as we do a good job at taking notes and we note what we learned when we make a bad decision, and the goal is to not do that again. So when I am preparing in the shop to go to a race, I'm going to compile my notes from previous times I've been there. And if it's dirt track racing, I'll look for notes that are around that same time of year, as track conditions tend to change. You know, they dry out more in the summer. Pavement racing, we would kind of analyze what the weather is going to be like for the day we're going, and try to compare as like a note that worked well as we can. Now, if it's a place we've never been before, what do you do? I'm a big fan of Google Maps. You can overlay whatever track you're going to versus someplace you have good notes for that's of like size. Oftentimes you can do that good enough to get a decent gear ratio even. But if not, reach out to somebody that runs at that track or has ran at that track that you trust. Most of the time someone's willing to share gearing and basic setup information with you. But Google Maps is a great way to look. Also go on YouTube and search videos from that racetrack, kind of get a feel for what it's like, and go back through my notes and try to find the closest track to that. Now, of course, we are huge as far as that's concerned. I'm sure if somebody already hasn't, they're going to ask, when is it available for iOS? Every time I mention Pit Logic, we get asked that. Man, we hope soon. We've been in the approval process with Apple for almost a month now, or maybe over a month. I've lost track. Had a conversation on Friday, and I think we're where we need to be, and hoping to hear some good news this week. As soon as we hear something, we'll let you know. But it's coming to iOS in the very, very near future. But Pit Logic allows us to be very organized with our notes. If you're just an old pen and paper guy, I understand. I still like to keep a paper notebook. I usually would PDF my notes in PitLogic and print them because sometimes if someone else is driving to the racetrack, I can thumb through that if my tablet's in the trailer or not near me. So, but the big thing is being very organized and going to the racetrack. Let's face it, we're all making a educated guess at what setup we feel like is going to work. But the more educated that guess is, the better your chances are to succeed. So we can't just be throwing darts at a dartboard blindfolded, right? We have some notes, go back, identify a similar track or track condition, and let's start there. The other thing is for your driver. If you're going to the track with a totally different setup every week, your driver's going to have a hard time getting the most out of a practice session. And you know, most sessions are 2, 3, 4 laps. So the guy's kind of got to know what the car is going to do and get a feel for the track versus kind of easing in around, you know, the car the first few laps because it doesn't know what the car is going to do. We want the driver to be comfortable and have a baseline setup that he's immediately going to go out and be able to get on the gas and feel out the proper line for that track. So, any questions as far as baseline setups and organization is concerned? I'll go over here and look at some of your questions. Matt Moore, you're correct. Notebook is just as important as your gear bag. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten to the track and a customer's asked me shock questions and they don't have their dyno sheets. So dyno sheets are like the first thing that should be in your notebook or loaded in PitLogic for sure. So Ethan, so once you're into PitLogic, you are just going to download the MicroSprint template and start keeping track of your notes there. So yeah, that's going to be the best way to start keeping track of your notes. Some of the chassis manufacturers, Stallard and Hyper, we have baseline setups that you can download into PitLogic, and we're working on a couple of the other guys we work with to get us that information as well. Travis, I'm not extremely big on scaling dirt cars just because the track's never flat and the track changes so much. I do believe in scaling a car when you build it initially to see how it compares to the last car you had, but typically blocking a car is good enough for me as far as dirt racing is concerned. Spencer, you must have just tuned in a little late. We are moments away, hopefully, from PitLogic being available on iOS. It's coming very soon. We've been in the approval process for a while now. So, any other questions as far as baseline setups are concerned? While you guys are thinking of questions, I know we got some guys tuned in that want to know about the upcoming iRacing League, maybe participated last night in our test race, and how do they get signed up for this. So we're doing an application process, and the reason being we wanted to live broadcast this, and one of the limitations was we have an hour time window to get the racing portion done. So we can have practice ahead of time, but the racing portion done, we have an hour to do a nice live broadcast. And trying to use our West Coast and East Coast customers, we don't want the younger guys staying up super late on the East Coast. So we're going to have to narrow the field down. But what you're going to do is scroll down on our website. You'll go right over here to iRacing League. Click on that, and there's a button here. Click that button, and then you can fill out this information. Shouldn't take longer than a minute or two. It's just going to tell us a little bit about yourself. And from there, when you get to the bottom, hit submit, and we will get an electronic submission of that. We're going to take applications until March 20th. So the first race is the 27th. We're going to take applications until March 20th. And we're not sure if it's going to be a 32 or 40 driver league. We're probably going to do another test race this Sunday to make sure we got that sorted out and we have the format how we want, And we're going to include as many people as we can. But we want it to be for our customers. We want it to be a good value add for them, and get these guys some more exposure. The company that's going to broadcast, I'll show you a sample here in a second. Very professional company. They broadcast dozens of races weekly, have about 8,000 subscribers on their YouTube channel, and it'll be broadcast on their YouTube channel live and then on ours as well. So this is a Knoxville National race they did.
Time by with Cameron Dance leading the way, our lone black stripe driver out in these 410 sprint cars. Beastly, incredibly powerful and loud machines. Heat number 1 is about to take off here at the Knoxville Nationals for the majors, and right away Cameron Dance does not dilly-dally. He gets off into the lead, and most of the drivers getting single file except towards the middle of the pack. That looks like Austin O'Neill and Stephen Paulson going to be side by side. This is a battle for 5th position. Looks like O'Neill's going to come out ahead on that. Stephen Paulson now under attack from Vincent Laherbier, looking for that, almost drifts up and again. No.
So you can see those guys do a really good job with that broadcast, and something we're excited to bring you guys. So we want to, the main goal of it was to like I say, to get more exposure for our customers, and have a way for, you know, maybe a quarter midget kid in Ohio to race a micro driver from Washington or a sprint car driver from California, and all that happened last night, so we were extremely excited about that. We just want to fine tune the format so guys can get as many green flag laps as possible, and we put on a good show, and people want to tune in and watch you guys show your talents. So we're going to get, it's a 12-week series, and if you don't get in on the first one, don't be discouraged. This is only like the scratching the surface here. We're going to do some big races and more series, but we're going to give $1,000 off a set of shocks to the champion, which is going to be the best 10 of 12 races, is what the points are. And then we have some other of our buddies in racing that are going to give away some cool stuff. We're going to have weekly and championship prizes, so we'll announce more of that as we get closer. I'll jump back over here and answer any of your guys' questions that are tuned in. Let's see what we got here. Thanks. John Randall, thumbs down for Sunday. I don't know why there's a thumbs down for Sunday. The 305 novice, do I need adjustable dampers? Jeff, you do need adjustable dampers for the simple fact that it's going to eliminate you having to carry 20 or 30 shocks in your trailer. So I definitely would recommend having adjustable shocks. 4 is going to get you everything you need, and it'll be a lot better than having to carry a bunch of extra shocks. So we make it really easy on you, so you know what settings to use for what track conditions, and you'll get up to speed really quick there. I typically check, if you're talking about a sprint car, I would check to the center of the torsion bar. Quarter midget I check below the frame, but that's just a preference as long as you check in the same place every time. Joe, not a problem. Glad we could get you fixed up, and sorry you guys got so tore up there. It wasn't for a lack of speed or effort. You just wrong place, wrong time a couple times there, but the cars look great. Sean, yeah, glad we got you guys taken care of. Those shocks will be there for this week's race, and good luck out there. Anybody else that's tuned in have questions about baseline setups, setup questions as the season's getting started, or questions about the upcoming iRacing League if you're a sim racer and you want to get in on that. Paul, how do you arrive at base settings for midget shocks? I always start there and tune to track conditions, which works really well, but just a matter of interest. We basically have our base settings, and any recommendation we give a customer, whether it's a quarter midget to sprint car, we're giving those base starting points based on our past knowledge. We've been doing this for 10 years now, a lot longer, but CSI has been around for 10 years almost, and so that's just from knowledge, from track testing, working with some very talented race car drivers that gave us great feedback, and learning what worked and didn't work and what a good baseline setting was. So those baseline settings are from years of experience. There's not any mathematical formula that we came up with to determine those. It's just from literally thousands and thousands of laps and lots of feedback from good customers. Joey, glad you enjoy the product, and we're happy to have you on board. Rick, we will have our trailer there at COTA for round 2 of the National Quarter Midget thing. So, yep, we can get you fixed up. Come see us on parking day, and we'll get you sorted out. Preston, is the iRacing League only going to be for CSI customers? I would say probably. You know, if we don't have enough CSI customers to sign up to fill the league, we'll look at adding others, but it's definitely going to be CSI customers are going to get first dibs. And that's why we are doing the application process. It's going to be a league, so we'll lock the field with the people that we approve to be in it. Last night we had a couple guys slide in with a passcode that was shared to them that wasn't necessarily a customer. And we really want it to be gained exposure for our customers, so that's going to be first. And I think we'll fill the league with CSI customers. So, Christopher Townsend, how do you get the CSI app? It's called Pit Logic. You can download it from the Google Play Store, one word, Pit Logic, and it's coming to iOS soon. Kevin, yes, all of my notes that are downloadable in Pit Logic for quarter midgets, wheel spacing is from the edge of the frame to the center line of the tire. Joey, how do you get into the race? Go back and watch the start of this. You're just going to go to our website. At the bottom right corner, there's a link that says iRacing League. From there, you can fill out an application and submit it. So, John, good. We're excited for you to try this stuff and let us know how it goes. Anybody else have any questions here? Monday Morning Quarterback, episode 51. We're glad you guys tuned in. And so the iRacing League is going to start Wednesday, March 27th. And it's going to be at 7:15 Eastern. So we'll do a 15-minute practice session, and then qualifying will start at 7:30. So I apologize, not super ideal for our West Coast customers. But that was the only live time slot we could get with the Global Sim Racing channel. So we hope to maybe improve that. Our goal was to do it at 8:30, which would be 5:30 out west, but it's going to be 7:15, so 4:15 west. And if you can't make it, please don't sign up if you're not going to be able to do them, because we'd hate for you to take a spot of somebody who wanted in. Jeff, yes, call me. I'm only going to be in the shop tomorrow, and then Wednesday I'm heading to Port City. But you can always call me at the shop when I'm here, or shoot me a message on Facebook or an email. And if I'm not here, the guys will get me your number, and I'll call you back. So, yep, definitely can talk to you about 305 stuff. My quarter midget panhard measurements are center to center, so the length of the panhard. So from the center line of the heim to the center line of the heim, and the basic length of a panhard bar. Yep. Cool. Well, thank you guys for joining in. We hope you have a fantastic week. We hope to see a bunch of you at Port City this week and Circuit of America next week. And we'll be live from Texas hopefully next week for episode 52. Hope you all have a good week again, and thank you for tuning in. Please share this so all your friends can see it, and let everybody know that you enjoy watching Monday Morning Quarterback. Take care, guys.